another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy, and this is a bonus Monday haul video. And you know what you're looking at right here? You're looking at $20. Got all this at an estate sale for $20. I'm going to go through it and stage it, and we're going to talk about what I bought and why I bought it. But one of the most important lessons to be learned is to make sure you network. Would not have gone to this sale to start with, except a friend of mine that is in the same business as me texted me and said, you absolutely have to go here. And then he told me a lot of good stuff was in the basement. So we drove. It was about a 40-minute drive in the rain, standing out in the rain, getting completely drenched. So you have to be willing to do that kind of thing as well. It was the second day. It was about 40 minutes away. I wasn't really sure what to expect, what time to get there, if there'd be line or not, because I had heard that the day before there was a line at noon when it opened at 10 in the morning. So we got there about 9:45, stood out in the rain for 15 minutes. It was me and random neighborhood kid. He decided to use one of these as a umbrella, except he put it over his head. It didn't have the books in it, of course. And everybody was kind of laughing about that, so that crazy random neighborhood kid. Got in there, went right for the basement. First thing we did, ended up filling things up, and we brought our own bags, which if you're in New York State, you have to remember to do that as well. Filled everything up over here, and the guy said $20 for all of this. I brought Random Neighborhood Kid along for two different reasons. Number one, he's learning how to drive, and it was good for him to drive the back roads in the rain. And number two, so I could have some just dumb labor. Then he ended up making me, an old man, carry all of the heaviest bags, so I guess I'm the dumb labor. So we're going to stop back in a couple of minutes after I get a chance to sort this all out and show you what $20 can buy you, why I bought the stuff, and a few different interesting things that are in here. So we will be right back at you. All right, as you can see, it was quite the impressive haul for $20. I don't think I'm going to go through each and every item and explain it to you, because we'd be here through our entire live show to get through it all. But I want to give you some highlights and tell you some of the things that went through my mind. I could tell that it would be a really good deal because he had some posters over in the corner, and a gentleman said, how much are the posters? What if I take them all? And the guy working the thing said, $5 takes them all. And right there I said, okay, he's looking to move stuff out. And it was kind of a nasty basement because there was kind of a mildewy smell. Some of the stuff on the floor had gotten ruined. And there was also water rushing in because of the rain. So I knew they didn't really want to keep the stuff. So that's number one sign: make a pile and they'll make you smile. So for instance, I bought these Country Life magazines from 69, 68, etc., etc. Just a big pile of these. I filled these up. Oh, that one has no cover. But don't really like these particularly much myself, but I do sell them for $15 to $20 a piece. So I got a little pile of that. Bonus, because there was so much stuff there in that pile, which I did not even know until I just got home, was a 1942 Vogue magazine. Vogue magazines are always very, very hot. This is probably, a $50 to $75 magazine right here that I had no idea was in that pile. So that's why you kind of make that kind of deal. Another area that I tell you all the time to look into, and a lot of other people do not, these are French kids books. I can just put the 5 of these in a group and should do fine. This is Japanese, and we do have the video up telling you how to use the Google Translate on your phone to take a look and tell what it is, but it's all kinds of Japanese prints and all that kind of stuff inside. So that should sell as well. Nice little souvenir of Tokyo woodcut prints. Sometimes these are surprisingly good. This was compliment of a bus tour, but it's probably back from the 1950s or 60s from the look of it. So those are kind of good as well. Ditto these things over here. This is Ukrainian. This is German from 1913. Took chances on these over here because, again, most people don't want to deal with the foreign language stuff. I'm more than willing to do it, so that becomes my little niche. Another thing we picked up over here, a couple of Santa Claus things. Pick up the night before Christmas when you find them. These tend to sell for $15 to $20, maybe $25 a piece when you get around Christmas time. People will tell you list them all year round. They are correct. I've got a lot of other stuff to list as well. So I'll just throw this in a box. Come October, we'll end up listing this, and I'll get 15 to 20 bucks out of that one piece alone. A couple of other things here I took some chances on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2 of the same pop-up storybook, a Donald Duck puppet book. I knew at those prices, worth doing. A little tip, check to make sure that these things end up working. They do end up working on these over here. A lot of times they're broken, especially on the older ones. That takes the value down considerably. These look to be in pretty nice shape. And this is the kind of thing that most of the established dealers walk right by because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's new stuff, it's junk. That's where you end up making the money. That being said, here I am telling you to only look for the new stuff. Don't. Look for the old stuff as well. I'm not sure exactly even what half of these books over here are, but for example, Shakespeare's Hamlet, 1865, I'm paying, I don't know, what did I pick up, 150 items? I'm paying 15 cents on it. Pretty sure paying 15 cents on an 1865 book will do me well. So I ended up picking up all kinds of just neat little things like that. Another insider tip, J.D. Salinger, he always sells Ian Fleming. An interview with Ian Fleming. He is the author of the James Bond books. You see his name, those are gold. People will buy them. Another insider, Ray Bradbury. Anything of his ends up selling very, very well. So I ended up picking up that stuff as well. Another neat thing, like this was down in the basement in a box that half the things in it were water damaged, so I think a lot of dealers did not look through it. Burr McIntosh Monthly. These things always sell. Do look for that magazine when you do see it. They're hard to find, but when you do find them, they do sell. Took another chance on an item. Frozen Truth, 1898, published by the Anti-Saloon League. Never seen it before, probably never see one again, but anything prohibition that's pre-prohibition, definitely worth picking up. So for that, can't argue with that. These over here, don't know what the heck they are, neat looking. I kind of picked them up not knowing what they were until I opened them up. If you open them up, they're from 1895, 1896. They're Italian softcover books. I figure from the 1890s, you can't go wrong picking these up at 15 cents a piece. Gonna make some money. This was a neat little item in there that nobody looked at. It was in the cookbook area, Golden Trow Cuisine. Okay, you say, what is that? I didn't know either. From 1971, made in Taiwan. It's all about the 7th Fleet, and it's a cookbook of things that they made on the ship. So it's military based. Got to be pretty difficult to find for the Tonkin Gulf. Got to be really, really rare item. Do look in the cookbooks. A lot of people don't bother doing that, and you can end up finding something rather neat like that in there. Another thing over here that everybody walked by. And I just saw it and knew it was good. Two of the same, no big deal. I'll just relist. But GE Merchandiser. Look at that nice little vacuum. Vacuum cleaner things sell. I'll highlight that. Probably get $15 to $20 out of this alone because people, oh look, 1928 GE with the vacuum cleaner. That'll definitely sell. So that's kind of a neat little item as well. Another thing that I just kind of threw in for the heck of it, 3 different Yorkie books. A lot of people just walked right by these. I know I could, worst case scenario, throw all 3 of them together, but I'll probably list them separately. People will have Yorkie and will want to pick these up. So those are those. Saw this over here on the spine. I immediately jumped and grabbed it. Weldon Tools. Nice little catalog with lots and lots of tools in it. These things always sell. I don't know Weldon, that may be a more common company. But minimally, this is $20, and it could, if it's one of the more rare ones or it's got some really good pictures in it, it could be $30, $40. And again, I paid 15 cents. So I can't argue with that. You know, ditto 47 magazines. These are magazines you take your time to go through. They're kind of a snap in time from 1 month in 1947. You go through it, you read the articles, you put up some good pictures. A few of these will sell right away, so that's another good thing. Got these over here. Usually don't deal in records, but you got a whole bunch of records. And again, I knew he wasn't going to charge me for them for the most part. You know, I mean, just you threw it in a bag. He didn't care what was in the bag. So I bought all these records. Figured take a chance on these over here. I'd like to learn the kids' records. You see them all the time. Friend of the channel, Auction Professor, talks about how he makes good money on them all the time. So heck, I'll just take a chance on them. Why not? I got nothing into them to speak of. Another neat little thing over here, and this is where, again, you got to realize this is from the early 1900s, 1904. It's got some great pictures of sailing, got pictures of yachts, on yacht sailing from 1904. Everybody walked by it because it's got the cover taped on. It's from 1904. It's going to end up selling. you buy it. Understand that when you deal with the older items, the condition is not going to be the best. As long as you understand that, you can do well when everybody else walks by. Everybody else is looking for high grade. You're not going to find high grade in something other like that. You can do well. I actually got really excited with this next item. I really did. Gentry magazine. These are really, really good magazines. I've never had them before, but I've seen them out there before. It's like fashion. They've got the little pieces of fabric in here, etc., etc. Last time I priced these out, you were talking they were 40, 50 bucks a magazine. 2 of them were sitting there. I saw one and I said, I know that's good. And I saw another one. Don't think I wasn't scouring the boxes right around there trying to find more of them. Ended up getting 2 of them though, and if these go for 50 bucks a piece, that more than pays for everything. Just really, really good magazines. If you ever see Gentry, pick that one up. Another thing over here that I picked up, and again, this is just knowing things. IBM was big here around the Binghamton area. Think is an IBM magazine. I picked up a whole bunch of Think magazines that I just, worst case scenario, I can lot all together, but I kind of go through them. I don't know exactly what's in them, but I know that at paying the price I'm paying for them, you can't go wrong. And just got pile after pile of other stuff over here. Rochester's Midtown Plaza, that ties into the Rochester thing where I've got a lot of people buying. This stupid little brochure will probably bring me $15 to $20 from one of my regulars that buys a lot of Rochester stuff off of me. That kind of caught my eye. I'm not even sure what it was, but it caught my eye, and I figured at the price I knew I would be paying, you just throw it in there. Same thing, something other like this. It's Laurence Olivier, Sir Laurence Olivier, Time Magazine. It's not the best of shape, but it's some kind of a review of his play. I said, what the heck? I'm just throwing it in. It takes up no space on the bag. And I could tell by the estate sale they weren't going to count each piece and charge me an amount on it. So that's why I ended up picking up that. You know, a few other things over here, Vietnam War era, Statue of Liberty, various things like that. Just another big pile of brochures. This over here was in bad shape, but again, a lot of things are going to be in bad shape. 1926, August 25th, from the Canadians' sesquicentennial. Probably aren't a lot of these out there to start with. So you just sit there and somebody buying it's going to accept that it's not in the best of shape. You just be very, very open about the condition and you'll end up selling it. And the covers were broken away from the inside, so I put it all together. A lot of times if you see a loose cover, kind of stick it off to the side when you're going through it. A couple of other neat things over here, some World War II stuff, history of the military order of the World Wars, the Onondaga County War Memorial. This I bought because this is really neat. It's got the V on it for the victory, along with the embossed eagle. And I guess you were supposed to put a photograph in there, is what it looks like. But I'll just end up selling this as it is, and somebody will buy it and probably put a photograph in there. They'll make some good money adding to it. I'll make some good money selling this. Just more pamphlets, things like that. But this over here caught my eye. And this, again, is just know your history. Bill Malden did a lot of stuff during World War II. Well, this was for travelers. And it's talking about draws in other wars, so it must have been probably during the Vietnam War. Well, I never saw this before in all the years I've been doing this. So I figure, heck, pick that one up. Worst case, it's going to go for $15, something or other like that. List it in the Vietnam War section. Somebody or other will end up wanting to buy that. Just a few more things over here. Magazines, Super Goof #2, Ghosts. I mean, those things, they're not hot by any means. It looked like people had grabbed the good comics out of there. But I'm happy to pick that up for 15 cents. Can't, cost 12 cents back in the day, so it can't go too bad on that. Still more stuff, more things. Plant Society, Through the Looking Glass, drawings of Elizabeth Layton. Things like this I just were buying because I've never seen them before. They caught my eye. Probably end up on Amazon. I mean, the person was asking $4.50. He was an old book dealer. He was asking $4.50. I have no idea what it's worth, but heck, now I will. American Scholar with an article about white guilt. I mean, things like that are just going to end up selling if you market them right. Somerset Sesquicentennial. This one I did pick up, though, purposely, Chaos and Hard Times, because I saw the autograph on the front. A lot of times you'll end up seeing it, and then you see he said, signed and inscribed by the playwright. So I have no idea who he is, but I figure you can't go wrong picking up something signed by the playwright. It'll sell. Down into the last few things over here, a couple of more comic books. Classics Illustrated do sell. People do end up buying them. Remember the highest reorder number in the back. This is 169. It's number 17 on the set, so it's a late print. But still, it'll end up selling. I'll get $5-6 out of it. Paid 15 cents. Can't go wrong. Just those things. A couple of other things. This did catch my eye. This is just very, very interesting. Not something I usually buy, but it's a paperweight. Our instant is here. National Sales Meeting from Eastman Kodak, 1976. Now, I've got a good following for people buying Kodak items out of me. I've got a good following for people buying Rochester items out of from me. So this is perfectly tied into both of those. But the funny thing about that is anybody who knows the history of Kodak knows that that instant camera they made cost them a lot of money because they basically, I guess, borrowed some patents from Polaroid. So that somebody or other will want that for just for that reason alone, some camera collector, whatever. So that's definitely a good little piece that was just sitting there outside of the norm. The guy didn't care. He just wanted his stuff gone. So I put it in the bag. He couldn't care less. I know Auction Professor has talked in the past about how well he's done with dust jackets. Well, I kind of threw these in. They take up no space whatsoever. And you got some nice early Nancy Drews. Somebody or other will have this book without the jacket. Picking up this jacket over here will add quite a bit of value to their book. They'll be happy to buy them off of me. And then the last thing that I got over here, just because, and this was one that I kind of told Random Neighborhood Kid, when I was going through the box, I picked the stuff up and put it off to the side because I thought he was going to do a good price on stuff, but I wasn't sure. And then as I was listening, I knew that he would. So I told Random Neighborhood Kid, fill the bag up with these dime novel roundups. Now, anybody that doesn't know, dime novels were just the trashy novels of the day back in the late 1800s, 1880s, 1890s. Well, these are all books that discuss them, or little booklets, whatever you want to call them, that discuss them from 1983, 1975, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody doing research on dime novels will definitely want these. And you end up picking all these up, and it takes up half a bag, so I paid $2.50 for all of these. I've got to do a little bit of research into them to find out how much they go for each. Probably end up reading half of them along the way to gain a lot of knowledge as well, kind of sort them out and all that kind of thing. But I guarantee you these things aren't in print anymore, and some old book dealer, which again I bought this stuff from the estate of a book dealer, some old book dealer will want all of these. So when you do see things like this and you see that kind of price, you definitely do take a chance and just buy the whole pile of them, because you'll be able to sell them, market them together one way or the other, and somebody will buy them just for reference purposes alone. So that's what we ended up getting. It was quite the good sale. Thanks to my friend that did tell me to go to it. Very, very happy with all the stuff. Thanks to Random Neighborhood Kid for driving down and standing out in the rain with me, although he did sucker me into pain for breakfast. So just some great things there. Do hit the like button if you could. But again, this is what you can literally find at a sale for $20. We're talking 3 items right there. I see right off the bat, the 2 Vogues or 1 Vogue and the 2 Gentry. Those are $50 to $75 a piece. That's $150 to $200 back on 3 items, let alone all this other stuff that came along with it. And do take some chances, because this is the perfect time to take chances. Because if you put an extra item in your bag, it's not going to really raise the price. He was charging an amount per bag, and that's what I explained to Random Neighborhood Kid as well. If I have 3.5 bags, 3 3/4 bags, or 4 bags, it was still going to cost me $20, and I might as well just fill it up. Which kind of brings in the last item, which I think I lost it in here somewhere. But there was a little brochure in there, which I did lose, but it was a manual for a radio, and somebody or other had looked at it and left it laying on top. And as he was writing me up, I saw it, and I know it'll go for about $20 by itself. And I said, hey, I'm going to throw this in my bag, okay? And he goes, yeah, take it. He didn't care. So I ended up getting that one piece that'll pay for everything here that was just sitting out there, and was the last item I added to the bag. So that's just the things you can find out there. Do let me know some of the finds that you get. When you do find a buy like this, do what you got to do. Buy as much as you can. And just be happy and list the stuff. It's not going to go down in value, and you're going to learn a lot out of it. Hopefully that helps you, and we'll see you next video.